Hello everyone and welcome to the Phoenix Crash Course. Today I am extremely happy. I just finished recording the entire Elixir Crash Course and then I got a bunch of comments saying, okay, nice, but Phoenix Crash Course when? Well, right now. So I am extremely happy. I am going to do another Crash Course series, but now on Phoenix. And why am I calling this a crash course and not a course, for example? Well, I'm going to follow the same philosophy that I followed on my free Elixir crash course, which is I am going to focus on the fundamentals. I have plans for in the future to build a more complex and a huge app and show you guys how to do it, like create a job board, a Twitter clone, an e-commerce. I want to do this in the future, but right now I want to focus on the fundamentals. So, for example, what is a plug? How do I do routing on Phoenix? What is a controller? What is Hicks on Phoenix? How do I create reusable components with it? How to do authentication, how to test, what are contexts. And I want to focus on the fundamentals because I don't see a lot of people talking about them. Now, sure, we have the documentation, and this crash course will be pretty much the video format of this documentation. I'm going to try to follow the structure of the official documentation as much as possible. But there are a lot of people that don't like the documentation. They prefer video format. And when I'm recording a video, I can also bring examples of real applications that I built instead of just showing you the theory. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on fundamentals. I'm going to try to build an example, like very simple e-commerce app, but I'm not gonna build it like completely. I'm just gonna do the bare minimum to get it working and to illustrate the concepts from the documentation. Okay? All right. So on this video, my plan is to show you why I think you should learn Phoenix, and we're going to install it and run it. So first of all, you can see here on the homepage the following text. Peace of mind from prototype to production. Okay, what does this mean exactly? Well, as a programmer, we all know that there is no free lunch. Usually, you need to choose between developer productivity and performance. So, for example, if you go full performance mode, you can use Rust, Golang, C, C++, but your developer productivity is gonna suffer. And you can go the other way around. You can use Ruby on Rails, Python, Django, but the performance is not ideal. And then here comes Phoenix, and it says on the homepage that you can have both. Just read the text here. Build rich, interactive web applications quickly with less code and fewer moving parts. And that was one of the reasons why I chose Phoenix and Elixir as an alternative to the crazy JavaScript ecosystem, and not like Rails or Django. I specifically chose Phoenix. And to be 100% honest here, the reason is that you can easily vertically scale on Phoenix because under the hood, it's using Erlang. And on every single request that you receive on Phoenix, that is going to run on a separate and isolated process. And it uses functional programming to avoid mutability. So this way, instead of having to horizontally scale like in a Node.js app, you can just get a bigger server. And I am primarily a front-end developer. I'm slowly becoming full stack, and I didn't want to have a hard time playing around with infrastructure. So then I saw this on the homepage. I sent a bunch of messages on Twitter asking people about this, and they said, yeah, if, thank God, you have a performance issue of getting too many users, I hope I have this problem, this is a good problem, then instead of doing a crazy Kubernetes configuration or, I don't know, using Nginx to spawn more server instances, you can just get a bigger server. And if you have like a server with 10 cores, Phoenix is going to use all 10 cores. And this doesn't require any work on your end. This is the default behavior from Phoenix, which is great. So for example, I have this project called Tech School. I'm using this machine from Fly. I'm using a shared 2 vCPU with 500 megabytes of memory. And by default, I am using both of those cores, okay? I'm not leaving any one of them unused. So on the infrastructure side, it's a lot easier. And I wanted to have an easier time when scaling the server. All right, now let's check out another thing. What about, what other reasons do I have to use Phoenix and to learn Phoenix? Here we have a very nice example of Chris McCord, the creator of Phoenix, building a real-time Twitter clone. This is a classic example. And in 15 minutes, he was able to do that. And check this out. It's real-time. It's using PubSub under the hood. And you can see the end result here.
And we'll click retweet. It works! Did you catch that? Let's try likes. There it goes. And this is just happening. No extra RESTful route, no routes to define, no controllers, no serializers, and the payload that we...
I mean, how cool is that? And the best part is, this is built in Phoenix. You don't have to install a package. All of this that you can see here is built in. You want real-time with PubSub and channels? Built in. You want authentication? That's built in. You want a JSON API? That's built in. You want to deploy your server and generate a Docker file? That's built in. You don't even need to know Docker if you want to use Phoenix, because it's going to generate the Docker file for you. We have even a live dashboard so you can see metrics of your server. It is highly scalable. We have presence, and we also have a built-in ORM. I'm using quotes here because it's not... Phoenix is not object-oriented, so I can't say that this is an ORM, but it's the wrapper for your database. It's called Ecto. It's fantastic. We're going to have a dedicated video just about Ecto, and it's built in. No work on your end. The only exception to this rule is if you want to build a GraphQL API, then you're going to install another package called Absinthe. But that's it. That's the only time that you're going to have to install a package on GraphQL. Everything else here is built in. And one thing that I wanted to mention is, I said that Phoenix is highly scalable, but do I have any example to show? Like, just saying that it's performant is not very useful. Do I have an example? Yes, I do. If you open up the blog tab from the official Phoenix website, you're going to find this article. It was published in 2015, all right? 9 years ago. Chris McCord on one machine, one, all right? This is not 10 node, Node.js nodes. Nope, this is one Elixir Phoenix server running. He managed to create 2 million WebSocket connections. And down here, you can see the tweet that he made about this. Sure, it's a beefy server, but it's one server, right? This is what I mentioned about being able to vertically scale to infinity. Like, if you don't want to waste any time on infrastructure, just get a bigger server and problem solved. 2 million WebSocket connections, okay? And I'm gonna even use my website as an example. Let me go back to Tech School. As you can see on the homepage, I have open analytics. You can check it out for yourself. So if I open up the analytics, I'm using Plausible, which funny enough is also using Elixir as the backend. So if I filter for last 12 months, you can see here that on this day, actually here, let me click. On this day, I got 7.8K unique visitors. And I had around 300 to 500 people using the website at the same time. Now, I'm using live view on TechSchool on every single page, meaning that I have one WebSocket connection open to each user, which means that on this day, I had around 500 open WebSocket connections on TechSchool, right? And you know what I did with this server? Absolutely nothing. We have even fly.io here saying, hey, you better scale the number of servers that you have because, I don't know, maybe one goes down, you might need the second one. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm using Elixir, all good on my end. So on this day, I like typically when I have around 0 users, like 3 online users, the memory usage is around 200 megabytes. And then on this day, where I had around 400 open WebSocket connections throughout the entire day, my memory went up to slightly under 300 megabytes of memory. I was using 300 megabytes of memory to have 530 open WebSocket connections. Now, I mean, I'm primarily a front-end developer, but this looks good to me. I didn't even touch my server. Actually, my server didn't even sweat, okay? I didn't get even close to the 500 megabytes. I was around under 300 megabytes. All right, now this is all about the backend. How about the front end? Now, if you are a React fanboy, you can, of course, build using Phoenix just a JSON API or GraphQL. It's not mandatory to go full stack with Phoenix, but not only we have live view to emulate the behavior of a single page app, writing front-end code on Phoenix feels extremely good. You can see on this GIF right here a couple of things. We have similarly to the syntax from React, we have Heeks for the front-end syntax on Phoenix. And with Heeks, I'm gonna have a dedicated video about this, but you can easily create reusable components. Not only that, but we have a built-in formatter, so every time you hit Command S, you are going to format the front-end code. And we have compiler checks. Just check this GIF right here. You can see that we have apparently a table component. It's a custom component. And the user here is trying to add a new prop to the table called a style, but this prop doesn't exist. So it throws a warning here saying, hey, the style equal basic prop that you're trying to pass to table doesn't exist. Okay? So yeah, those are the reasons why I love Phoenix so much. And now on the next videos, I'm going to show you instead of telling you, all right? So to end this video, let's open up the official guides. We're going to install the necessary packages and we're going to start a new application. Sounds good? All right, so we're gonna come up to phoenix/overview.html. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is just the overview of what's inside Phoenix. But what I want is installation. We're gonna go here. Of course, you need Elixir installed. If you don't know how to do that, you can watch my free Elixir crash course. Now, the first thing that you need to do is install Heeks. I'm just gonna copy this, open up my terminal, paste. I have it installed, yes. Now I need to install the generator from Phoenix, which is this one. I'm gonna copy, paste that. That was pretty easy. Now let's go to the final step. And where is it? Okay, up and running. Here you can use the following command, mix phx.new and the name of your application. And we're probably gonna have a dedicated video just about these generators, but you can customize this generator. So for example, if you don't need a database, maybe you're just building, I don't know, a live view front end, you can pass the flag -- no ecto to remove Ecto. If you're building just a JSON API, you can remove everything related to assets, HTML, and live view by using no HTML, no assets, no live. But what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to type mix phx.new, and I'm gonna call this application shop. Okay, so shop. And then I need a different database. For simplicity purposes, I am not going to use Postgres. I'm going to use SQLite 3, which is amazing. I don't need Docker or anything, just runs. So I'm just gonna say dash dash database SQLite 3. And there's a chance that this command is gonna run very slow to install the dependencies for the first time. Okay, installed the dependencies. Now it's setting up the assets and now compiling the dependencies. This is the slow part. All right, once you have the dependencies installed, you can cd into the folder that you created. You can create the database, which is mix.ecto.create. All right. And then to start the server, you can run this command, or if you want to have an IEX session running alongside the server, you can use this command. But we're not going to do this on this video. I'm just going to open up this on code dot, because we are already on the folder. And I have a light theme. I'm so sorry. Nope. Arc. This is my theme, by the way. A bunch of people ask. It's bearded theme arc. I'm gonna zoom up. And one final recommendation that I have is, in order for you to have a very nice VS Code experience, I highly recommend you to install the extension Elixir LS. I have it installed already. It's this one. It's from the Elixir LS team. Yeah, it's the language server, debugger, autocomplete, IntelliSense, everything is on this package. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.